change your life. I'm like, boy, this was the best cake that I ever had. Like, man, this joint is fire. Got me a cappuccino with it. It was chocolate, and it had like some chocolate glaze on it. It was like some creamy. It was like 3 layers. It was 3 layers. It was chocolate, white chocolate, and it was like chocolate crumbles, and it was like this smooth texture to it. It was about this big. It was 3 layers. Boy, I'm talking about, they had to make that in that Willy Wonka factory. Boy, that cake right there. Man, my mouth watering right now, still thinking about that cake, man. Why I did it. See? And that's what got me.
What are you thinking? Yeah. What are you thinking? Yeah. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah. What are you thinking? Hey. What are you thinking? Hey. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah.
Welcome back to another edition of the Arnold's Thoughts Podcast. It is your boy Arnold, man. I am out here dolo today, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 ways that we can get mentally prepared to be the ultimate athlete we can be. Now listen, before we get started, I just want you guys to hit that like, subscribe, so we can push this content out to all the athletes that's out there that is trying to improve, that's trying to get their game to the next level. We got to show some love and just help each other out to get this message to everybody. So you guys, if somebody, you hear this and you want somebody to get benefit from this message, just share it with them. That's all I ask. You just share it with them to let them get some value out of you, because that's all I'm trying to do is produce value. But let's get straight into it. So the 5 mental preparation techniques that you need to have for any athlete. I am an athlete that has been playing for over 9 years now. I'm playing for 9 years now. And there's a lot of information that I've acquired in that time of playing. And for the most part, this whole game is all mental. It's all about the mental aspects of the game. So we must first decipher. Literally decipher. Now, if you don't know what the word decipher means, it literally means uncover, find, to break the code. We got to break the code. We got to read the matrix, baby. You understand what I'm saying? We got to figure out the matrix. We got to decode the matrix of what it takes to become an ultimate athlete. How do we first become an athlete? Because it doesn't really matter in any sport that you do if you become an athlete first, like the full, complete athlete. By controlling your mind. How do we control your mind? In the preparation that it takes. So we're going to get into the 5 techniques that I believe are the best for preparing yourself as an athlete, which has accumulated a lot to my growth. And I say that because I have won quite a significant amount of champions. If you watch any of my content, you have known I've won over 7 championships in my first 8 years. And in some of these tactics, you don't even realize that you're doing until you're doing them. You're doing them, but you don't have no guidance to what you're doing. You're just naturally moving. But once you start getting to the understanding of what you're actually doing, then it can start coming into fruition and you can maximize. Let's maximize, man. If you're trying to maximize, put maximize down in the comment section. So I know for a fact that you want to maximize yourself as an athlete. Take action. If you didn't take action to just do that, then you're not really serious about it. You're not really serious about it, because when you always hear when people you watch or the podcasts that you're listening to, they always tell you, hey, take an action. And you just be like, what you don't realize is you're programming your mind not to follow the instructions and the things that are going to benefit you more. So if someone gives me an action that solidifies what I'm trying to achieve overall and I don't take that action, I'm responding to my brain and my self-conscious and telling myself that I'm not really serious about what it is I say that I want. I'm not serious about maximizing what I really say that I want, or becoming who I say I am, because if someone told me to do something, hey, I might not even know this guy, but what he's saying is absolutely true. And if it's something that's going to take me 0.1 second to do, that's going to overall improve my life and get me into the direction of where I want to go, why wouldn't I take the time to add on to that? So we got to understand compounding. Everything is a compound act of what we're doing, good or bad. So are we taking every action to compound our life of what we want to achieve? Are we building on those structures and building that base to build up what we truly want? We want to be the star off the rip. How can you be a star off the jump and you ain't even got your mental preparation down? But that's okay. We're going to get into that today. What I feel like to just achieve like peak performance, what I believe and what I've seen from, like, I studied the Kobe's and LeBron's and the Jordans, and it's everything breaks down to your mental preparation. So the first thing I believe that you should do to really get to your mental preparation and really maximize controlling the mind to give you the best desired result. What's up, guys? I just dropped my new ebook, 6 Must-Have Steps to Be an Overseas Basketball Player. You know, I've been playing for the last 9 years. I got all the steps and the traits that you need to start your journey with networking, with getting a mentor, all the things that you need to start your journey to be a protege. So go get that ebook, click the link in the bio, and make sure you get your steps to being that overseas pro one day. Let's go. It's through visualization. Now, visualization is a powerful tool that allows you to rehearse your performances in your mind. That's so true. It helps you to build confidence, reduce anxiety, and sharpens your focus. Visualize yourself performing at your best, executing the skills and techniques that you learn, and experiencing the feeling of success. Now, there's a great book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Napoleon Hill. I've been really on, like, for me, I love to get information from books. Books are like keys to the world, keys to unlocking everything that you wish and hope and desire out of your life. Please, if you don't read, pick up an audio book. You don't have to read. You can listen to it. If you can listen to music, you can listen to an audio book. So you can get to the keys that you need to unlock the doors in your mind. And visualization is one of those doors that you need to unlock so you can get the maximum potential out of your brain and out of yourself and your subconscious and start tapping into these hidden powers that we have that's going to allow you to become that supreme athlete. I like that word, supreme athlete. You are a supreme being. Everything about you is supreme. You just have to unlock the doors so you can get to that supreme being. It's not just going to happen without work and preparation and seeking. Seek you first. Seek first and you will find. He who seeketh shall find. Are you seeking these doors? Are you getting the keys to unlock these doors? Visualization is one of those doors. It's a very, very powerful tool that you can use to unlock the subconscious mind and understand how the brain works. Psycho-Cybernetics is a powerful book. I probably read that book like 4 or 5 times because it just dives so much deep into the brain by using visualization, by seeing exactly what it is that you want out of your life. You got to see it first. You got to see what you want. You got to literally put yourself in the position, the body that I want, the miles that I want to run, the weight that I want to lift, the moves that I want to do on the court, the route running I want to do, whatever it is, whatever your sport is, you need to have, and you need to see exactly what it is that you want to achieve. What kind of athlete are you striving to be? That's what you have to ask yourself. What kind of athlete am I striving to be? You got to really break it down and using visualization to really see, like, okay, I'm finna go to the weight room. I'm finna be lifting 225. 10 times. Repping it. You gotta see that in your brain first. I'm going to be knocking down threes left and right. You got to visualize that. Literally see yourself in the gym putting up shots, making shots, knocking them down, mid-range, one dribble pull-up, step back threes. How consistently are you visualizing yourself doing these things so your brain becomes used to it and it just becomes second nature to you? You could say, well, I go to the gym, it comes second nature. Well, if you put the work in your brain, in that book, it literally explains to you that from you going, they did an experiment. So the experiment was they took about 10 people, they put 10 of them to shoot darts. And like, it was a dart experiment and a shooting basketball. I'm going to do the basketball experiments because, of course, I'm an athlete. I hoop. So I'm going to do the basketball experiment, right? So they did 10 people. They got 10 people to shoot a basketball for a week. Right? And then they got another 10 people to practice in their mind visualizing, shooting and making 10 and shooting for like 30 minutes a day, visualizing themselves shooting and making basketballs. These people ain't never played, so they're on equal playing fields. The people who went to the gym 30 minutes and practiced every day for a week and shot the basketball increased by 24%. The people who sat down and visualized shooting the basketball for about 30 minutes a day for a week improved by like 23%. That is a 1% difference. So what does that tell you about the powers that you have in your mind to accomplish the things that you have? That's unlocked power, potential that we have just sitting with us every single day, that we have every single day that we can use and access. I'll give you a perfect example of last year when I was using visualization. Last year, when I read this book and I really started applying the concepts that it taught, I used to wake up, is a part of my every single day is to visualize me winning the championship. I used to win I visualized myself holding the championship. I visualize myself with my teammates celebrating. I visualize myself hearing the people scream, legend, legend, legend. I couldn't give you the full picture, but I saw that. Why? Because I wanted to really believe, like, if this is really true, then this will happen. Like, this is something that I want. Now, there's other stuff that I wanted that didn't happen. But that doesn't mean that everything that you want is not going to happen in its time. But I knew, okay, with this team, this situation, there's only one way this is going to happen. So either it's going to happen or it's not. Either this visualization thing is real or not. Guess what? We won the championship. Guess what? They were screaming legend. They were screaming and yelling legend to me, chanting that to me, referencing me. I saw that already. I saw it. In my brain, I saw it. I didn't know how it was going to play out, but I saw it in my mind so many times that it came to fruition. The power of visualization and seeing yourself exactly where you want to be in life before it even happens is such a powerful tool. And we can't let it discourage us if it don't happen when we believe it's going to happen. We just have to know. We just have to know that it's going to happen. Knowing and believing is two different things. Believing is I heard a guy say believing is still a form of doubt because you're still thinking about it. But when you know, when you get to a point to where you know this is to be true, I know this is going to happen to me. I know this is going to change. I know this is going to happen. We really start to understand what we really can do with our mind through the process of visualization. Moving on to the next technique that we can use for mental preparation is goal settings. A part of the visualization that I did, I set goals for myself. I personally always set season goals. I have life goals. I have yearly goals. I have 3-year goals. I have 5-year goals. I got 10-year goals. I have each one of these goals. You even go break it down to 1 month goals. I've got 1 month goals. I got 1 week goals. I got 1 day goals. There's a great book called The One Thing. And it basically says, what is the one thing that you can do right now to achieve the desired results? By doing this one thing, nothing else is important. Paraphrasing. So, what is the one thing that you can do to achieve your desired result, to achieve your goals that you're setting for yourself right now, this day, that is more important than anything else that's going to get you to your ultimate goal? Keep that in mind when you're setting your goals. Break it all the way down. Okay, I want to go to school. I want to go to this D1 school. Okay, so I'm a sophomore. That's 2 years from now. Okay, what can I do in 1 year's time to improve to get to that goal? What can I do in 6 months' time? What can I do in 4 months' time? What can I do in a 1 month time or 1 week time? To what can I do today? What can I do at this very minute? What goal can I set for this very minute, very second that I can achieve that's going to help me get to that ultimate goal that I want? Goal setting can be specific and make them achievable. Once you make them achievable, you kind of start building this momentum. It's like the snowball effect. Once you get into like that snowball effect that, okay, I achieved one goal, what happens? You start building the confidence like, hey, I did this one thing, I could do something else. I can achieve another one. It gives you that, I feel good about what I just did. You feel good about the goals that you just achieved today. You feel good about the weekly goals. So you want to make them achievable, but you also want to make them a little challenging, because I don't believe there's anything in life that if it doesn't create some kind of struggle or resistance, it's not going to be worth it. Tell me one thing that you've done that wasn't difficult and it seemed worth it. Tupac, hey babe, I don't like it if it's that easy. That's for the old Tupac fans. I'm old. Dang, I'm starting to get up there. I'm 33. I feel great. I still feel like I'm about 25. I might not be able to jump as high as when I was about 25. But I'm still, I was talking to one of my teammates today, and he was like, bro, you're the oldest one on the team. Yet you run more than all of us. You play more minutes. You are the leading scorer on the team. I'm the number one in steals in the league, and I lead the team in rebound and in minutes played. Why? I do more. My goal for the week is to make sure I get up and I go and run on the beach. And I make sure twice a week, when possible. And then I make sure that I get up and go to the gym and run on and do the bike for at least 10 to 12 miles. 5 o'clock in the 5:30, 7 in the morning, early before I go to weights, before I go to practice. Those are my daily goals, or those are my weekly goals that, okay, let me get these things done. And then when you start seeing the compound effect of when you consistently keep doing that, and then you start seeing the results, it was like, how are you doing all these things? Well, look at the results that I'm getting from that. Look at the results. So when you're setting your goals, make sure to just break it down to, what is the one thing that I can do today? What is the one thing that I can do today that everything else is not important, or not as, I wouldn't say not as important. Everything else doesn't matter, but this one thing will help me contribute to everything else that I'm trying to achieve. What is the one thing? That's another book. Like I said, I'm a big book head. Big book head boy. You hear me? Big book head boy. So get that book, The One Thing, Psycho-Cybernetics. Psycho-Cybernetics is just a powerful book. Napoleon Hill is just a powerful author, and he was writing these books back in, like, I think I just read one that's called Outwitting the Devil. And that book was written like in 1938. Psycho Cybernetics was written like 1913 or 28 or something, and they are so true to today's time and what they do for what we can add to ourselves in today's aspect to become a supreme athlete. Man, I love that word, a supreme athlete. That to get your mental mind going and setting your goals and how not to drift in your goals and how you can narrow it down to the one thing for today, for tomorrow, for the week, for a month, 6 months, a year, 2 years. But you start off by breaking it down to what is the one thing that I can do today? What is the one thought that I can think that's going to help me get to my goal? What is the one question that I can ask myself that's going to help me get to my ultimate goal? Quick tip. When you ask the question, you get your answer. Your questions are your answers. So ask yourself, what is the one question that I can ask myself to get to the goals that I desire for myself? Beautiful. Love that question. Number 3, mindfulness and relaxation techniques. Mindfulness and relaxation techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation can help calm your mind and reduce stress and anxiety. These can increase your ability to focus and perform at your best. Once you start understanding mindfulness through meditation, do you know how, have anyone, I'm talking to whoever has the opportunity to listen to this right now. Mindfulness is just the ability to sit there in one place, no music, not talking to nobody, for about an hour, 45 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, and just sit there and just deal with your thoughts. That's hard for a lot of people to do, but that's when you come to a state of mindfulness, of understanding what's really going on around you, what's going on in your mind. You're literally taking focus and thought of what's in your mind. You're starting to understand, what is it that I'm really thinking about? What is it that is going on in my mind? Do I know what I am thinking about? The brain processes 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. And 90% of those thoughts are the thoughts that we thought yesterday. But they're going so fast that we're not taking time to understand what it is we're thinking. Meditation. Meditation is something that we can use to slow the mind down, understand what it is that we're trying to achieve, what it is that we're thinking of, that we can focus on. Every day that when I wake up, right, this is kind of like a must have, like a non-negotiable, I should say. This is by far a non-negotiable for me. I wake up every day and I pray for about 30 minutes. And just get my mind, my soul, my spirit prepared for the day. Before I even start my day, I start off with like, yeah, listen, God, this is exactly what I want out of the day. This is what it is for me. I'm putting you first in everything that I do. So before I even could think of anything else, I'm already in the habit of putting you first. Putting you first before my day starts. And that just sets the tone. I'm getting literally my inner body and my spirit set on the good things of life, for my Creator, from how grateful I am to be here. How grateful I am that I can just sit and talk and express myself. Then I get into my meditation. my meditation and my visualization, but I go into my meditation first. In my meditation, I use this breathing technique that I learned from another book. Boy, listen, if y'all not understanding the power of the books yet, you might not want to keep listening, because I probably got a book for almost everything that I read. And that's what I understand about the books nowadays, like what they really do for you. Because once you really start reading the books, they don't come to you like the whole book hits you all at one time. It's just when you start seeing different aspects in your life where you're thinking about something, the book and the concepts of what it is will pop up into your brain and remind you of this situation, of this concept, and how you can apply what you've gotten out of that material to your life. So I was reading a book, it's called Limitless. I don't know if you guys seen that one movie, Limitless, when they take the pill, the guy eats the pill, right? I'll give you a brief little breakdown of the movie Limitless. So guy gets this pill, he finds this pill, it was like a drug. He eats the drug and he's able to access 100% of his brain. He's become super smart and he can just pretty much, he becomes limitless. No pun intended. He becomes limitless. He just is able to do whatever his mind can process. He literally can do whatever his mind can process at the time. So he becomes limitless. And in that book, it just teaches you so much about how you can have recall everything. You learn better. It teaches you how to focus. It teaches you how to learn. It teaches you how to think. It literally teaches you how to think. It teaches you about the negative thoughts that goes on to your head. And it teaches you mindfulness and relaxation. Because to get the proper stimulation to your brain, you got to be able to calm the brain down. You got to be able to calm your body down. You got to be able to relax and get into a state that gives your mind the opportunity to be able to function at its best time, to its fullest capacity. That's why the book is called Limitless, because they're trying to teach you that you can use your whole brain. And one of the techniques in the book is through a breathing technique that he learned, the guy in the book, Jim Crow, that he learned in the Jim Quick. Sorry, not Jim Crow. Jesus, where did Jim Crow come from? Who was talking about Jim Crow? That Jim Crow popped up in my head. This is not that time. Jim Quick. My goodness. So the breathing technique that he speaks about is, I use this when I'm doing my meditation in the morning, is you take in 4 seconds. So you breathe in 4 seconds. You hold it for 7 seconds. And then you make this sound, whoosh. And as you make that sound, you literally just blow out all of the air for 8 seconds. I do this when I'm stretching. I do this when I'm meditating. Once you're focusing on your breathing, it just makes your body more relaxed. It just makes you in unity with your mind, your body. Everything is just in harmony. I use this every morning. It's just, go take a cold shower, right? That's another thing that can help you with your mindfulness and relaxation, is literally taking cold showers. I take a cold shower every single day. Every single day I use a cold shower. You should be using cold showers to get your mind. Once you understand that putting your body in shock positions, you can control your mind and understand your mind more, because your mind is like, turn it off. No way are we supposed to be under this freezing cold water. But if you can just stay there and understand how to control that and do the breathing technique. Breathe in 4 seconds. Hold for 7 seconds. Whoosh. And breathe out for those 8 seconds. You're not even thinking about the cold anymore. You're not even thinking that your body gets into this motion. It's like a flow. You're putting everything in line. You're literally interacting with your surroundings through your breathing, and then your mind calms down and realize, hey, this is actually, if you can get through the first minute of a cold shower, it will change your life. Start taking cold showers. It literally opens up your brain, because you start gaining control of your brain. You literally start gaining control of your brain because you understand this is only temporary. The pain, the suffering that I'm going through, that's keeping me off balance, it's only temporary. It's not even real. It's not even real. It's just something that my brain at the time wants to just take me, like, make me feel like this is a danger. There is no danger. It's actually one of the best things that you can do for your body, especially as an athlete. That's why we do cold tubbing. It relaxes the muscle. It gets the blood flowing, because your body has to start warming up your body from the cold hitting it. It increases blood flow. When it increases blood flow, now you can get all those little injuries, all those knickknacks. The reason why normally you have more of those is because you're not getting adequate blood flow. So if you take cold showers, you're forcing your body to get more blood flow. So if you're getting more blood flow, your body can get the blood to the areas that are hurting you. And if you do that every single day, you're just waking up your body and keeping the blood flow active and growing and going to the directions of what it needs. A lot of times why we have injuries and things that hold us back, or like nagging injuries, is because we're not getting enough blood flow to it. And it can't heal properly because there's not enough blood flow going through it. Which is why we got to watch what we eat and all that. That's another video that we're not getting into. We're just getting into the mental preparation right now. But what you eat, I ain't going to even talk about, like, my biggest takeaway is I got to get off the sugar. Woo! Just ate a cake today. A nice chocolate caramel cake. And it wasn't good. It was not good. I ordered one yesterday. See, that was my problem. That's the problem. See? It's never good the second time. You look up and find one that's good, tasty, change your life. I'm like, boy, this was the best cake that I ever had. Like, man, this joint is fire. Got me a cappuccino with it. It was chocolate, and it had like some chocolate glaze on it. It was like some creamy. It was like 3 layers. It was 3 layers. It was chocolate, white chocolate, and it was like chocolate crumbles, and it was like this smooth texture to it. It was about this big. It was probably like, it was 3 layers. Boy, I'm talking about, they had to make that in that Willy Wonka factory. Boy, that cake right there. Man, my mouth watering right now, still thinking about that cake, man. Why I did it. See? And that's what got me. That's what got me in the predicament of why I'm getting more, trying to get more cake, trying to get that feeling back. Ain't coming back. No, I ain't got this other chocolate caramel with all this cream, and I don't want that. I don't want from yesterday. We only make it once a day. We only make oh man, you messed me up. So moving on to the 4th technique of mental preparation that we must have. I believe for every athlete to really excel their game and really become that supreme athlete that we all are seeking to be, and that's positive self-talk. We have to learn how to boost our own morale up. We have to learn how to be our biggest supporter, our biggest cheerleader. Like, you have to become your biggest cheerleader. No one can be the deciding factor of how much they boost you up. A famous motivational speaker I like to listen to named Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy says, to build his self-confidence up, he says, I like me. How many times a day do you tell yourself that you like you? He literally says over 20 to 30 to 50 times a day, he repeats to himself, I like me, just to build his own confidence up. And I started applying that to my life. I like me. I like what I bring to the table. I like the person that I am. I like the athlete that I am. I like the teammate that I am. I like how I can bring my team and bring the energy to the team so I can be a help to another person and help to this organization or a help to my teammates to just be better. I like me. Do you like yourself? Building self-confidence in yourself with the positive talk that we speak, with the words that we speak. Your thoughts and beliefs are significant to your impact on your performance. How you talk about your play? Oh man, I missed this shot. Oh man, I made a turnover. Oh, I fumbled the ball. I did a bad serve. Oh man, I can't. That negative talk affects your performance. Why can't I say the word performance? I need right now. I believe that I can say that word good. That's good. This is the perfect moment right now to improve on my self-talk and improve on my self-positive attributes. You'll get that word. You'll make sure you say it right. You got it. That's a key point right there to just you say, you know what? Despite all the negative things that's possibly happening around me or in my current situation, I'm not going to let it dictate how I talk about myself. I like me. Brian Tracy is a great motivational speaker that speaks on these type of things that helps just human beings in general understand the power of their thought and their speech amongst themselves, to themselves. How do you think for yourself? How do we use these mental techniques to just improve as athletes daily? And positive self-talk is one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself. Encourage yourself with positive self-talk and focus on your strengths and abilities. If you can shoot the ball, say you can shoot the ball every day to yourself. Talk to yourself. Give yourself the boost that you need. Hey man, you're a great shooter. Bro, you are lights out. You are lights out. Look in that mirror. Talk to yourself. You are lights out. Man, your handle is not cockiness when you're talking to yourself. If it's you and yourself, by yourself, talking to yourself and giving yourself the motivation that you need to become as great as you choose to be by the words you inflict upon yourself. You must understand the words that you're using amongst yourself to give yourself that confidence. Avoid self-talk. It can lead to anxiety, and it can lead to a underconfidence, underperforming. Because you're going to be bringing down your own confidence with your own talk. Out your mouth comes blessings and cursings. So basically, what are you saying out your mouth is going to affect and dictate your outcome. I specifically try to make sure that the words that come out of my mouth are beneficial, not only to me, but to everybody around me. I'm trying to create that vibration around me to attract everything around me that to help me improve in some way, shape, form, in any aspect. So what am I speaking amongst myself? I know every time I'm on the court and I specifically remember right before a game, it was the day before the game, and every basketball player that knows that they're going to have those days where it's just like, man, it's rough. Training is rough and you're in your own head. When I say I missed every shot I took in practice that day, it was a 2-hour practice. I missed every single shot I took. Every shot that I took, I missed. Do you know the feeling that you're going to have inside when you're like, man, I got a game tomorrow and I'm not locked in. I can't make no shots. I can't hit nothing. That type of feeling that you got that goes through your head. But I decided to let what I continuously fuel my mind with, the Brian Tracy quote came in and said, you know what? I like me as a shooter. I like me to knock down the next shot. I believe I will make this next shot. I know I will make the next shot. No matter what the outcome is of the shot that I take next, I decide to say it will go in before I even take it. That would be the only speech that I speak over everything that I do, with every shot that I take. And the next game, even though that training, I did not make no shots for over 2 hours, the entire practice, I didn't make no shots. The next day, I kept that same attitude. I kept that same positive talk of I will make the next one. I will hit the next one. I like me. I like me. Guess what? You know what happened? Shot like 80%. Shot like 80% from the two. Probably had like 25, 27 points. Shot like 40% from three. Was player of the game. All because I decided to not speak negatively about myself. We're our own biggest critic and we're our own biggest detriment. We tear ourselves down more than anybody that we come into contact with, because we are with ourselves more than anybody. So we hear the words that we speak to ourselves more than anybody. So we have to be in control and responsible for how we treat ourselves and the way that we talk to ourselves. The words that we are allowing to flow out of our mouth, we must allow them to only lead towards our betterment and our enlightenment. If we want to be that athlete that just decides to dominate a game, dominate a practice, dominate his situation, get better every single day, it's only going to come by the self-improvement and the speech that you put upon yourself in order to get better. There's a great book called The Hidden Messages in Water. It's by this scientist out in Japan. I read this book a few days ago. I was referred from some mentor guy that I watch on YouTube. And he was just talking about, they did a study, correct? They did a study on the power of positive speech and the effects that it has on water. So when you broke down the water and you put it under a microscope, it has a snowflake. When you freeze it to below freezing, it creates a snowflake. No one snowflake is alike in this world. None. So when they froze the water down, they wanted to see what is the formation of the crystals that they have in this water. He took 1 cup of water and put gratefulness in the water. He took another one and put some negative word. I can't remember exactly what the word, but it was something negative. When they looked at the flake or the water crystal, the crystal of a water, it makes a snowflake design pattern. When you break it all the way down, when you put it under a microscope and get it down to its like the infinite, the molecules of it, creates a certain texture to it in the shape of a snowflake. Now the cup that said gratefulness, the positive top, thank you, it created one of the most beautiful snowflake crystal designs. And the one that had the negative, self-doubting talk paper that was with the water, it had an ugly, unformed snowflake design. It didn't even create a snowflake design. It was just an unformed design of like the molecules. Like it didn't form. It was just an ugly feature. From water. Our body is 70% water. Our mind is 90% water. Kind of makes sense because the world is surrounded by 70% of water. So it kind of just shows the importance of water in this world. and in our lives, and if the speech that we speak on ourselves can affect the water by even writing it on a piece of paper, imagine what we're doing to ourselves. That's something we have to really start paying attention to and really using to benefit our lives, become that athlete. Speak up on yourself. Talk good about yourself. That's going to help you become the athlete you want to be in the first place. Why not take every single advantage by using your own words to your advantage? We want to use every program. We want to read every other we want to watch every YouTube video on Kobe and all this, which is great. But we don't take the action of doing it ourselves. When we're going to start taking the action of being our own biggest supporter and making this into a science for ourselves, we see everybody else talk about it and everybody else do it, but we don't do it for ourselves and stay committed to it. Stay locked into doing it. Really change our lives by what we speak. And the last thing that we're going to use to another mental technique, the fifth aspect that we are going to use for mental preparation, is mental rehearsal. Mental rehearsal is basically the process of practicing and performing in your mind, the performance in your mind. This can help you become more familiar with the task, of course, increase your confidence, and reduce the likelihood of you making mistakes. This can be done with visualization and with mental preparation. This mental technique of mental rehearsal, I'll just give you a perfect example. The best way I can state this aspect, this technique, is I got a story. So, tell you a quick story about last year when I was playing in my 7th championship, right? The scenario broke down. We're down 1 with, I think it was under 30 seconds. I get an offensive rebound. Go up with the left hand. Missed the easy layup. Well, it was contested, but I missed it. Layup I should have made. I was having a great game. Probably had like 36 at that time. 35. I was having a great game. This is the finals, game 3, on the road. We up 2. So I hit this layup. We go up 1. We get a defensive stop. Game over. But I missed. We foul. So I'm already thinking about what's going to happen next. What are all the scenarios that can possibly happen from here on out? I'm already rehearsing what's going to happen, what can happen, what would I do, what position I'll be in, what shot would I take from now until the end of the game. I'm already rehearsing every single scenario that can possibly happen in this aspect on the fly. Because I take time to visualize. I take time to put myself in these positions where, hey, I've hit game winners before. I've hit big time buckets before. And when I do those, or when I've had those moments, I went back to those moments and replayed the times where I didn't make the game winning shot. What could I have done different? Rehearse these moments over and over and see, going back on film and watching it and meditating and visualizing how I could have done it different. So when I'm put in this situation, I already know what to do. We get the rebound. They get the rebound. We foul. They go hit They hit 1 free throw. They up 2. We draw up a play. I get the ball, drive, get a foul. That rehearsal. I said, okay, all I got to do is knock down 2. We tied up. We possibly go into overtime. Or I go 1 of 1. We foul. I hit a 3 to tie us up. We go into overtime. I hit the first one. Boom. Got the next one. Felt good. Missed it. They got it. About 10 seconds come. They're dribbling it down. Trying to dribble out the clock. I run over there. Foul the point guard. He knocks down 2 free throws. We're down 3. In my head, I said, we're good. I literally said, we're good. Coach is drawing up a play. I told the point guard, whatever you do, just give me the ball. Because I already seen the ending of this story. I already did my dress rehearsal in my mind. I already seen this movie. I produced this movie in my mind. I went through rehearsal. I already seen the shot going in. Already been in this situation because I put that mental rehearsal in my head. I've done it so many times. I already went to casting call. I already got the part. I already did all that. I sat back and watched this movie in my mind 1,000 times. So I already know the ending result. You know what the end result was? We ran the play. He gave me the ball. I hit a crazy three right over the 6'10", 6'11" guy all over me. Foul, no call. I hit it. Why? Because I wrote the movie. I already knew what the ending was. I wrote it in my mind. I already went over it so many times. It's rehearsal. It's practice. I practiced it here so many times. So when it happens, you're not surprised by what you've already done. We have to start unlocking that mindset and unlocking what we can do with our minds and how we can make those things happen for us. Once you put yourself in that position so many times, you just change literally your existence as a player. You just completely tap into a force that you have in between these two ears of yours to unlock so much potential that what you can do. So mental rehearsal is definitely something that we need to take more in consideration and start applying. You are the director of your own movie that goes on in your mind. You say action, you say cut. You put in the fill-ins. This is your movie. You act upon it the way you want it. You decide the ending of your movie. You created it. So when the time comes, you're ready. I've seen this movie before. I know how this ends. So going over just a quick rundown: visualization, goal setting, mindfulness and relaxation, positive talk, and mental rehearsal. The 5 techniques that can turn you into the most dynamic, supreme athlete that you can be. That's all we got for this episode. I hope you guys got value out of this. It's just some things that I've been able to accomplish out of my life, that I've been able to use in my life and my journey as an athlete. You know, once you're going through the athlete's journey, it's always great to connect with people who are on the same page or on the same level. Like, I put myself nowhere above anybody. We all going through the same thing as athletes. I'm an overseas basketball player playing as overseas. I got so many guys that go through the same thing. We going through the same life, from guys who played in the NBA to guys who playing overseas to high school to college. The athlete's path, the athlete's just our way of passage. We're all going through the same. We can all use these benefits to help us just maximize, because we all just want to be great in what we do. A true competitor of the game wants to just be the best competitor he can be. So I hope you take these techniques and use them and apply them to your life, so you can be that athlete and be that supreme athlete that you can be and achieve all the things that you want. Because we got to remember, greatness is a habit, not a right. Till next time. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.